G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of Pete's Gold Adventures. Well, as you can see, I'm not out of the bush today. I am actually rebuilding the jaw crusher. About 18 months ago, it had a little bit of a hemorrhage, one might say. I didn't quite understand where the pressure would be put on the back plate. Actually, I thought it just pushed in, but what it actually did was pushed in and down, and eventually it just tore the bearings off the back. So what I've done, I've beefed all that up. So I hope it's going to be a lot stronger. Anyway guys, I'll give you a look at the parts to the new U-Butte 2.0, let's say, jaw crusher. Rightio, where to start? Well, the side plate's not a lot different. New sticker is about the only thing that's different. One thing that was failing, this is the adjuster for the back. So this pushes the plate out to adjust the jaw. Now this was 6mm steel. It just basically bent. It was flexing and bending. So now it's 8mm with two 5mm plates on the back with a longer connector nut, so that hopefully the thread doesn't bind up. So hopefully we'll get no flex out of that. Now this is the part that basically, well, hemorrhaged effectively. This tube, which holds the bearings, basically just turned down and just tore apart up in here. So what I've done, cut some brackets, made it nice and neat around the tube there. So these bearings just fit in the holes there. So hopefully now they'll be pushing against the brackets. This should stay where it's supposed to stay. So that is all now very much beefed up. Another part that I wasn't happy with, you'll see why. This is the original. It's quite butchery, but at the time I didn't have a metal lathe, so I got a friend to turn this up. It's just a bit of tubing. We turned it down so the bearing would slide onto the tubing to give us our cam. So this is basically essentially an eccentric shaft. That is gone. What I've done now, I've actually turned one up out of a solid piece of steel. So I offset it in the metal lathe. So previously I didn't have a metal lathe, so now I do. So I was able to offset this in the metal lathe and basically turn a brand new eccentric shaft out of one piece of steel. So there we have it. So that should work a hell of a lot better. So basically, yeah, the bearings just click on there. And if you sort of to spin it, you'll see that now it's sort of cammed. So that is the new eccentric shaft. I didn't know how much originally offset to have this. It's only about 6mm. You wouldn't really want much more, because basically the more offset, the harder it is to actually rotate, and quartz being quite hard and it shatters, you don't need much like offset to basically put the pressure on it to pop the quartz any more, and it just turns into a bigger lever and you'll end up having more trouble. So you do not need much offset at all. Alrighty, the next thing, I made a new hub for the back. So I've turned up some new ends that this goes into, so that sort of slots into there, and I welded that to this backing plate. So that is a lot nicer. The last one, I don't think I've got it anymore because it was just total butchery, but this one all turned up on the lathe, really nice. Pokes through the other side. I used to have a sticker there, but now I've got the hub poking through the hole. Had to relocate the sticker on one of the side plates, so that is a lot better. Only thing I wish I had have done was made new plates. These ones, I guess from previous welding, had slightly warped. When I put them onto there, put them on, the wheels have got like, they got a slight little wobble, but it's not too bad. Like, it doesn't really matter. So, but basically, these are rotors, old brake rotors off my old GD Falcon, so they relive again. Now guys, after running through all that, let's get it put together. It's a little bit of a jiggly mess because you've got to sort of hold it all together. There's so many parts. It just wants to escape on you. So hopefully it goes pretty smoothly. I've had it together, basically dry fit to make sure everything worked again. So hopefully it will go together. And after this, we'll do a bit of a crush. I've got some quartz, so we'll have to put it through its paces to see how it goes. And then we'll put it through the mill. We'll clean it. We'll see if this quartz that I basically randomly picked up through the bush has got any gold. I do not know if it does, and I do not actually remember where it came from. So that also could be a problem. This is a bit of a wrestling match to get this together, which you will see. So first we'll just stick that in there, which I'm sure will pretty much want to jump out as soon as I try to get it together. These bearings go in there. Now for the fun part. Oh, it's quite hard to put this together without it sort of all wanting to escape effectively. So basically got a little roller. So basically that rolls against the back of here. So it's on a roller, so as it oscillates, it sort of rolls up and down on the bearings just to make it a little bit nicer. I'm going to attempt to put one side together, try and put the rest together. So start to see it all coming together there. So yeah, this slots into this. Basically it's a slot, so it's as strong as it can be effectively. Now the plate sits in there, so you can sort of see the workings of it. Basically, so you twist this, makes that plate go in, adjust it up for your rock. Alrighty, this is where it starts to get tricky. Putting this on, try and line up all these bits and pieces. If it goes in one hit, I'll be surprised. Generally wants to escape. Parts are falling out already. Somewhat getting somewhere. Put that back in. Alright, there we go. Somewhat together. Alrighty. So I didn't forget how it goes together. This one goes in the back. Alrighty, so that's the bottom. Oh. Alrighty, so you can actually sort of see that sort of sits there, oscillates up and down. Surprisingly, it actually worked quite well the first time I ever built it, so I was pretty happy with that. So it's probably had the less modifications of anything I've ever made. I believe that went over the back. Okay, there's one. This thing is starting to get really heavy now. All I've done really is add more metal. Alrighty, so after much jiggling about, it's together. Yeah, so it's playing a little bit hard to get. So there we go. That's the bulk of it. Now you may be wondering why I got such a small base on it. Well, this is not entirely permanent. I do actually want to mount it on a frame with an electric motor. So I reckon I could drive a belt off one of these big wheels. Time for the wheels. This is probably not the best way to lock your wheels on, but look, I haven't got a keyway cutter or anything like that, so this will have to do. So hopefully it won't shear them off. Well, there you have it, guys. The Jaw Crusher, somewhat 2.0. Well, there you go, guys. The old Jaw Crusher is back together again. Look, it's been a long time. It's probably been there on 18 months. It's sat on the bench for quite a while. I made parts over time, but yeah, I just never got around to actually getting it done. So I needed to get other projects on the go, so I needed this one done. So now it is done. I think it's time for a bit of a crush to see how it goes. So here's some quartz. We're going to stick through it. Now this stuff looks the goods. Nice quartz. She's black. So everything gold would love to live in. So I'll check out this one. It is as vuggy as. So if there's not a bit of gold hanging out somewhere in there, I'll go heat, because I reckon that looks pretty good. A lot of vugginess. The old sulfides would have oxidized out. So I think it looks pretty good. Anyway, only one way to find out. I'll knock some of these down a little bit smaller so they actually fit in that. And yeah, we'll give it a crush. And then once it's crushed down to a manageable size, we'll stick it in the old hammer mill there. Give it a final smack, get it down to powder. And we'll clean her up and see if we've got any gold. Alrighty guys, so let's see how it goes. Got me pan full here. There you go. So there's me pan full of rock. I sort of broke it down a little bit more manageable. There we go. One thing I did find, it likes being loaded up. So all crushed down, so there you go. That's pretty manageable for the old hammer mill to process. So that one pan is in one little tub. So yeah, we'll feed this through the hammer mill, turn it into powder. We'll pan it off and see what we got. Hopefully some gold. Righto guys, so the hammer mill is all hooked up. So we feed it in there, goes down this tube into the bucket. And we know there's no gold in that bucket because Gary, the last quartz we crushed for Gary was barren, except for the first bit we done for him was actually excellent. And then all the dust goes out that pipe, out the door, around the corner, and I don't have to worry about it. So basically this system is dustless. So there will be no dust in here because that actually pressurizes the bucket. So all good in that department. Anyway guys, let's get cracking. So guys, there we go. That took probably about 4 minutes in total to basically do that pan, which turned into one of those tubs. So a lot easier than hitting it with a dolly pot, I'll tell you. One good thing about this system is basically you just keep pouring. It keeps going out. You don't have to empty it. It just goes straight in the bucket. Dust goes out the door. No dust in here, which is really good. Anyway, I'm going to get this cleaned out, get that bucket, and we'll get the powder out, and we'll pan it off and see if we've got any gold. Well, I'm all set up out here, so I've got my crushed quartz, hopefully gold ore, just not crushed quartz. Tub of water there, so we'll get it all washed up out here. So I'll get into the pan. Let's see if we've got any gold. Alright, here we go. So now you'll see how fine it gets it. No dolly pot is ever gonna do that. Fully equipped with a spider. We'll get you out. So that is very fine. Alright, now time to try and wet it down. This stuff is very glubby. I'm just hoping it's got some gold. And I'll have to try and remember where I got it from. Have some gold. Just a little bit of gold. Rightio, I'll get some clean water. We'll have a reveal. Rightio, I didn't have a look. I wanted to. But I want you to share with me my triumph or disappointment. Oh look, I'm ready for the disappointment. I'm sure it's probably got nothing in it. That's probably why it's lying around in the bush. But you never know. Just a little tiny bit of colour. I think that quartz is laying in the bush because it's not very good. I don't think I could even squint hard enough to see if there's any gold in that. No, I think they've been skunked. Or is that one bit? Might be one bit right there. I reckon that might be a bit. It's acting like gold. Or is it? Or did it just go away? Ah, well. Bugger. Well guys, there we go. No gold. That would have been a nice added little bonus, but it was pretty much all about getting the old jaw crusher back together. We've achieved that. I'm happy now. It's working pretty well. I reckon if I hook a belt up to this and put an electric motor on it, it'll be a lot better. Get it spinning a bit faster. I reckon we'd be really popping some quartz then. But other than that, I think it worked a treat. But yeah, very happy to have it back together again. Be able to do some quartz crushers. I do have quartz with gold in it, I know, because it was full of species. So one day, yes, we will crush that. May not need to go through this because I generally break it up quite small to make sure all the gold is out. But that's it anyway. Anyway guys, well that's it for this episode of Pete's Gold Adventures. I hope you enjoyed it. Something a little bit different. Got the jaw crusher back together, so I'm pretty happy about that. Anyway guys, if you did enjoy it, do like, share and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.